Can I let you in on a little secret? There are 7 things that you need to know to dramatically change the life that you're living. And these 7 truths are definitely I love you but moments, and I know that you need to hear them. So let's dive in and go through the 7 truths that will change your life. Truth number 1. You only get a result as big as your personal development practice. So that means that if you are developing yourself daily, your life will develop daily. If you are growing daily, your life will grow daily. But if you are sitting stagnant in the same place with the same thoughts, the same beliefs, and the same limitations that you put on yourself, your life will not change. So I want you to ask yourself, how am I developing myself daily? This could be reading. This could be having a conversation with somebody who challenges your perspective. This could be getting into a group program, a one-to-one coaching situation, anything that gives you the chance to change or broaden your perspective is exactly where you want to be. Listening to a podcast, reading an audiobook, watching a documentary, anything that will shift how you think is personal development. So when you sit down and you have a really deep, honest, good conversation with somebody about something that is genuinely on your mind, you start to learn new things. You start to shift your perspective and think, this is possible for me. When you read stories about other people's success and you look at that person and you say, this person had the same background as me and look at what they've achieved, you're shifting your perspective about what you believe is possible for you. And this is what I want you to think about. How can you shift your perspective daily? How can you broaden your knowledge daily? How can you read something that's going to change the way you think, change the way you feel, change your belief system in what you actually believe is true, and challenge some of the rubbish stories that you've been telling yourself? Because when you do that, your life will genuinely start to change. So, second truth, a solid morning routine will fast track your results better than any other single action you take. There is something magical about a morning routine, about piecing together the core things that you need to really show up for yourself and really give yourself the space and the time that you need to start your day properly. I don't know about you, but before my morning routine, I was waking up, snoozing my alarm, not wanting to get out of bed. I felt very depressed during that time period and really struggled to get up and get going. Most mornings I wouldn't eat, or if I did, it would be in a rush, literally toast on a plate while I was running around, like getting things ready. Most mornings I would get straight in front of my computer within seconds of waking up and just sit there for the whole day. And everything was chasing my tail. Everything was rushing. Now, my routine is so different. I wake up an hour and a half before I even need to leave the house and do anything. And when I say leave the house, I mean take the dog for a walk. Like, that's what I'm doing in the morning. I wake up and in that time I read, I develop myself. I meditate, I move my body, I drink a whole bottle of water. I say my I am statements, my belief statements, and shift the belief about what I think is possible for myself. I vision, I look at my vision, I read my vision out loud to myself in the mirror until I feel it. And each of these practices is about shifting into a better relationship with myself, shifting into a person who trusts myself. When I say I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and give myself an hour, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I give myself an hour. I give myself the space and time that I need to start my day in the best possible way. And this shifts everything, because by the time I go out and have, my morning walk with my husband and the dog, I have already achieved so much in my day. I already feel so productive. We have better conversations while we go for that walk. We eat breakfast together in a calm, relaxed environment, talking about all of the things that are going to come into our life. But it's only because we actively make the choice to start our day well. And I want you to think about this. How can you establish a morning routine for yourself? If you want help, drop a comment below and I'll tell you what I can do. Okay, the third thing is you have to feel your vision first, and then it will become your reality. This is not a case of I'm going to write my vision down once and say this is what I want, and then I'm going to tuck it away in a book and never read it again. This is not a case of, I'm going to read this thing quickly every day and just get it out the way as a to-do tick list. If you truly want your vision to become a reality, you have to genuinely be able to feel that truth in your life. You have to genuinely be able to feel yourself becoming the person who can hold that reality. And that starts by reading your vision out loud every single day, a couple of times, but not just reading it and being It's about you actually sitting there and reading it out loud in the mirror, looking at yourself, making eye contact with yourself, and truly feeling into the excitement for the life that you're creating. Genuinely whole body vibrating of the possibility, the excitement, bringing it into your reality, because that energy shift into the vibration of receiving is going to shift so much in your life. One of my favorite practices with my vision is, as I'm reading my vision, I will say thank you in gratitude. So I will read my vision and say, if I take my previous vision, which has now become my reality, we live in the most beautiful 4-bedroom house. It has 3 bathrooms, it has a gorgeous pool, it has a wonderful outside entertaining space, and we own it mortgage free. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Literally, it gives me goosebumps doing it. It gives me absolute goosebumps, because going through this process and opening up to gratitude and actually feeling the vision before it became a reality is what made it possible for me to align myself to the actions. If we think about how energy works and we think about how things attract to each other, when things vibrate at the same vibration, they attract. And that means that when you vibrate at the vibration of good, more good comes. So I want you to really think about, how do I get into that vibrational alignment of feeling my vision? Not just sticking some pictures on a board or saying this is what I want. Okay, number 4. The biggest factor that is limiting you at the moment is not money, it's not time, and it's not access. It is your mindset. Now, I know that this sounds harsh, and I hear people say all of the time, oh, once I can afford X, I'll be able to. Once I can afford Y, I'll be able to. Once I have access to this place or this thing or this person, my life will change. When I have more time, I'll be able to take the action that gets me this result. I'm sorry to inform you, but that is not how it works. People who have the result started in the exact same place you are. And the only thing that shifted is their mindset and their priorities. Their mindset shifted to say, I am going to implement my morning routine. I am going to develop myself personally. I am going to make sure that I have got a clear goal as to where the hell I'm going, and I am going to get there. I am going to trust myself and believe in myself to the most unwavering ability and know that I make these things come true. I create the time. I find the money for the things that are necessary. I get into the right spaces, into the right opportunities, into the right rooms. Because I am worthy of all of these things. And when you shift your mindset and you start to be kinder to yourself and you start to work on your limiting beliefs, that is when your life genuinely starts to change. In Soul Code, we were talking about limiting beliefs this morning in the Voxer group. And it is the best conversation. Before 9 a.m. in the morning, we are throwing down limiting beliefs, we are challenging them, we are helping each other move through this process. And this is where things start to come together. We're saying that conversation is a personal development conversation. That conversation is challenging your mindset and challenging any limits you put on yourself. That conversation is growing your vision of who you can be and the person that you can show up as. That one space is hitting multiple of these areas and truths that you really need to start shifting. And this is what you want to continue to ask yourself. How can I create these opportunities for myself? The next time you say, I don't have money to join that thing, or I don't have money to buy that program, I want you to change it to, I don't see that as a big enough priority at the moment. And see how that sits with you. When you say, I don't have time to create a morning routine, I want you to say, improving my life is not a priority for me at the moment. See how that sits with you. Yes, everyone has limitations. Everyone has things that they need to do and reasons why this is hard. But you are in control of your life. You set the boundaries. You set the limits. And you have to decide that this is now the time that it's going to shift. This is the time that you're not going to limit yourself anymore. Because we are literally only limited by our mindset. Anything is possible if we can shift our mindset to believe that it is possible. And this is literally the magic that's in the world. I love it. Okay, number 5. When you pay somebody to get the result, you are skipping the struggle and you are getting straight to work. This is a really controversial thing. I don't necessarily think that you have to pay to get a result. I don't necessarily think that you cannot do it yourself. And I definitely believe that you have all of the answers within you already. But when you pay somebody, they are there to shift you when you are struggling. And this is the really big thing. So I have my own coach. When I have absolute wobbles in my business, my life, my day, I will message her and say, I'm wobbling. Yeah, I'm struggling to believe in myself right now. I'm struggling to believe in my vision. I'm struggling to believe in the goals that I've set. And within an instant, she will come around and she will remind me what a badass I am. She'll jump on a call with me and we will go through this process of her getting me back on track to doing the damn work. So rather than sitting in that struggle for a day, a week, a month, some people sit in it for years. I will say I am struggling, and she will come back and help me move through that. She will raise the standard again for me and say, okay, I hear you, but that's not the belief that we're living by. And this is the thing that makes such a difference, because you are giving yourself a lifeline to do it quicker. You are giving yourself a way to literally collapse time and say, I'm not going to sit in this bullshit for any longer. I'm going to have somebody who pulls me out of it instantly every time I need. And this is the thing. When I speak to my coach and I say, I'm in this mindset, she will challenge my perspective. She will give me a different way of thinking. She will give me a personal development practice to go and do. She'll give me a new way to connect with my vision. She will move me through this process. And this is why, even if you're a coach yourself, you need a coach. You need a community, a mastermind, something that's going to stretch you. And not from a scarcity point of view of like you can't do it yourself, but from an expansion point of view of like, why can't we just do it quicker? Why can't we just get there sooner? And actually, when I invest, I'm collapsing time on my dreams. This past year, I've invested in my business multiple times. I've invested in myself multiple times. I've joined masterminds, I've joined memberships, I've had one-to-one coaching, I've had counseling. And in that time, I took a 5-year goal and pulled it into 3 years, and I'm now living in South Africa, surrounded by my friends and family, in a 4-bedroom house that we get the keys for tomorrow, completely mortgage free. Everything that I didn't think was possible is in my reality right now, because I said, screw it, I'm collapsing time and I'm going for it now. And this is what I want you to think about. When you pay somebody, you cut out the struggle and you get straight to the work. So why not? Okay, truth number 6. This is a good one. When you dial down the bad feelings, you dial down the good feelings as well. They are linked. So you cannot say, oh, I don't want to feel this bad feeling. I don't want to feel this shame, this guilt, this grief, this sadness, any of the bad feelings. But I do want to feel extreme joy, extreme pleasure, extreme happiness, extreme contentment, extreme peace. It's impossible. When you dial down one, you dial down the other, because your emotions are one spectrum that you move between. And it's really important to understand that as humans, we are complex and can hold multiple feelings at once. This idea that you can only feel one thing at a time is mental. I can feel sad about a certain aspect and still feel excited about something else. I can feel scared about something that I'm about to do in my business and really nervous and that sort of fun, excitement, energy all at the same time. And I can also feel complete peace in my personal life. We are not linear, one step after another process. We are complex. We have the ability to shift and move and feel and just expand beyond our belief if we let ourselves. We also are way more capable of holding big feelings than we give ourselves credit for. Now, as somebody who struggled with depression, as somebody who went through that journey of, you know, a lot of grief in my family, a lot of loss, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, I can tell you that I wasn't able to enjoy my life when I was limiting those feelings. I wasn't able to open myself up to all of the magic that is available to me. And when we think about it, a lot of the time we try and pass by the emotion. So if there's a bad emotion, we might pass it by because we feel uncomfortable by it, or we feel like we're making other people uncomfortable. It's so difficult for people to just sit with somebody while they cry and not try and fix it. And that is due to their own uncomfortable. Not you, not your feelings. It's how they feel and how they process that. We might try bypass a bad feeling because it feels too hard. It feels like too much to bear. Like we might lose ourselves in that process of feeling it. And actually, a lot of the times, we'll actually bypass the good feelings as well. We'll bypass the extreme joy and the extreme celebration and the extreme bliss and the peace by overlooking it, playing it down, saying, oh yeah, but you know, I still have all these other things I have to worry about. And again, it's due to how we feel we make other people feel. Yeah, it's not about wanting to take up too much space. And actually what we need to learn to do is we need to be able to sit in our emotions. We need to be able to feel them and say, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And just be okay with that. You can't dial down one without the other. You have to feel everything. And when you start to feel everything, life will get so much better. I can promise you that. Okay, final truth. Final thing that I want to say to you is you don't need to announce something for validation. You can quietly work hard and then surprise people with the result that you get. I think that this is such an important concept because everything at the moment online is about outwardly celebrating. I'm going to use celebrating as the word rather than showing off. But you see a lot of people showing up in an energy of, you know, this is what I'm going to do, these are the things that I'm going to achieve, you know, these are all the wins that I've had. And while I think it's absolutely amazing to celebrate your wins, I think it's absolutely amazing to celebrate yourself, I also think that there's an element of, if you go out into the world and you say you're going to do something, you create a lot of pressure for yourself. You put yourself into a space where you have to get it done in a certain amount of time, you have to get it out into the world. And the challenge with that is that it changes the dynamic of that thing being something between you and your soul to something with you and the whole world. And I think it's really valuable to actually plant that seed and give it time to properly grow, to get to the point where your belief is so unwavering that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, and then go out and tell people. Yeah, once you're halfway through, once you're a quarter, like 3/4 of the way through, once you're done, then you start telling people that this is what you're creating. And this is something I've seen with a lot of people who were in the Burnout to Balance program right at the beginning, is they would say things like, oh yeah, I told, you know, an acquaintance that I saw when I was picking up my kids from school that I'm going to be starting this business, and they were shocked, or, you know, they were confused as to how I would make money, or, you know, they weren't as sort of like excited and supportive as expected. And it really throws doubt into your mind. It really throws like a waver into what you think is possible. And I think that that's really, really important to remember, is actually It doesn't matter what other people think about your journey. It doesn't matter what other people think is possible for you. It doesn't matter what other people think you're capable of. The only thing that matters is what you think. Because if you think you're capable, you will take the coupling action and you will make it so. If you think you are not capable, you will not take the action and you will not make it so. And this is such an important thing. So whether it is an income goal that you want to hit, or a project that you want to achieve, or something that you want to put out into the world, it's completely up to you when you share that. You don't have to share it at the beginning for validation. You don't have to share it at the beginning to have people say, oh yeah, you can do that. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And this is what is so important on this journey. All that matters is what you think. And if you can get behind yourself 100%, you can make your life exactly how you want it to be. Now, these 7 truths are a little bit brutal at times. I know that. But they genuinely are the truth of what I have done over the past 3 years to become the person who holds the success I do now. They are the truth of what it actually takes. It's not just about, saying, oh, I want this thing, and then just waiting for it to arrive. It's about truly asking yourself, who do I need to become and how do I become that person? How do I get more in touch with my soul? How do I build super healthy habits and show up for myself in this world? And I can promise you now, if you pick one of these 7 truths and focus in on it for the next 30 days, your life will start to change. So tell me, firstly, which of the 7 truths you're going to pick. Which one is the one that sits with you that you think, yes, this is the thing I needed to hear and this is what I need to do. And then I want to invite you to come and join the Healthy Habit Hub. We are going to be starting the Healthy Habit Hub. It's a movement on the 14th of November. It is 30 days to build your own structured morning routine. And I'm going to show you exactly how I built mine, exactly how I moved through the 3 core stages of beliefs around routines, and how I've made my morning routine something that is literally part of who I am, to the point that if I don't do it, it feels weird. And that is what I want for you as well. That morning routine is the first piece of the puzzle to make everything else fall into place. And I want to give you that literally before Christmas, so that you can start the next year in the best possible place. Ready to create the change you want to see in your life. Ready to create the change you want to see in the world. When you can say, this is what I deserve, and actually believe it with every essence of your being. These lessons and these truths are going to help you so much if you take a second to actually embed them. And I really implore you to do that. If you want to know more about the lessons, if you want to join the Healthy Habit Hub, everything that you need is below in the video content. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button for this video. It really helps the channel grow. And I literally cannot wait to see you in the next video.